So guys, we have calculated the displacements and end moments. Okay, now we will draw the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram and axial force diagram. Okay, but before that we will be seeing the free body diagram, because with the help of the free body diagram we have to calculate some forces. Okay, so let us come to the free body diagram of this structure. Okay, so we will be showing forces in the joint also. Okay, how the forces are transferring to the joint, and from the joint how it is transferring to other members. Okay, so let us suppose this is the case over here. Right, so this is B joint, this is C, this is A, and this is D. Okay, now let us draw the first end moments. Okay, so at this point, what is the value of MAB first? MAB is minus 31.31, so it is anti-clockwise, so this value is minus 31.31, right? What is the value of MBA? MBA is again anti-clockwise, negative sign, so this is 7.63, right? Now what is the value of MBC? MBC is 7.63 in clockwise direction, right? And MCB is 34.14 again in clockwise direction. MCD is minus 34.14, which is anti-clockwise, negative sign, and MDC is again with negative sign. This is minus 23, this is 23.04. okay, minus sign is basically showing the direction, which I have already shown over here, which is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise is negative and clockwise is positive, right? Now at this point there will be having we will be having some axial force. This is equal to this. Okay, at this point also we will be having some axial force. The value will be same. This value is similar to this value. Okay, and again to balance this force there will be some force, one force here. There is some load, UDL load acting on this BC portion, again one force. So these two forces will be equal, these two forces will be equal, these two forces will be equal. Okay, these two forces will be equal, right? Now let us draw the shear force diagram. This is anti-clockwise moment, so here will be one clockwise moment, anti-clockwise, so one clockwise. So this is the free body diagram basically, and here also if this is in this direction, this force will be in this direction. Okay, so I have shown the forces. Moment will be there. This is what anti-clockwise, so there will be one clockwise moment. This is 7.63. This is clockwise, so there will be anti-clockwise moment 7.63, right? Similarly, there will be some moment over here. This is anti-clockwise, so the clockwise moment 34.14. This is clockwise, so there will be one anti-clockwise moment. This is 34.14, right? So now let us first think about the shear force. Okay, so for this member, for this AB member, the shear force will be contributing by these two forces, right? So we need to calculate the value of these forces, right? These two forces will be similar. Okay, and these two forces will balance this couple, which is in net couple is in anti-clockwise direction. So I'm denoting this force as V1, okay, or VA, right? So I can write VA into 3 equals to 7.63 plus 31.31. Okay, this couple will provide resistance to this moment. Okay, now if you calculate the value, 7.63 plus 31.31 divided by 3. So this VA value comes out to be 12.98. Okay, so this VA is 12.98. This VA value comes out to be 12.98, right? Similarly, this value is again will be 12.98. Okay, this thing is done. Now let us come to this portion CD. For CD portion, we need to calculate these two forces. Okay, again these two forces will be equal. Let us denote it as VD. So VD into 6 will be equals to 34.14 plus 23.04. Okay, moment due to these forces will be 0. Why 0? Because this is passing through the axis only, right? So I can write VD equals to 34.14 plus 23.04 divided by 6. So VD comes out to be 9.53 kilonewton, right? So this at this point the value is 9.53 kilonewton, right? Similarly, this value is again 9.53 kilonewton. Okay. Now we need to find the shear force for this member BC. Okay. Considering this BC portion, it is looking like this. There is one moment 34.14, one moment 77.63. Okay, and this is a UDL. The intensity of the UDL is 30 kilonewton per meter. Okay, so due to this UDL, the one reaction will induce over here, and both these reactions will be same in magnitude. First, we are calculating the effect of UDL only. So due to UDL, the forces at this end will be 54 kilonewton, 54 kilonewton. Okay. Now there is some unbalanced moment which is in clockwise direction. So to balance this unbalanced moment, we need to have a couple in anti-clockwise direction, right? And the value will be 34.14 plus 7.63 divided by 3.6. So this value will be 11.60 and here 11.60. So the net value will be minus 54. This is 42.39. Okay, and here the net value will be 54 plus 11.60, 65.6, right? So this value is 42.39 and this value is 65.6. Okay, so we have calculated all the values which will be sufficient for drawing what you can say that axial force shear force diagram and bending moment diagram, right? So now we need to find this axial forces also. Okay, so because we need to draw the axial force diagram, right? There will be one force over here. Again, one force. Okay. So we need to find this axial force basically, right? So axial force, okay. This is 9 kilonewton over here. Right. So now let us come to this B joint basically. Okay. I'm assuming that at this point there is one horizontal force. Okay. At this point also there is some horizontal force or so axial force, right? One shear force which we have already calculated, this is VA, right? And there is 40 below, at this point there will be 142.39 over here. Okay, right. So equilibrium of this, by considering the equilibrium in x and y direction, we will calculate the horizontal force over here. Okay, one more thing, this is member BC. So at BC there we are saying that there is some axial force acting, okay, and this axial force are both are equal. So we can calculate this axial force basically and this is equals to 9.5. This is at this point there is, okay, sorry, this will act like this. So to balance this, it will act like this over here. At this point it is act like this. Again at this point it will act like this. Again at this point it will act like this, right? So this force right. So value of this force is 9.53. Okay, this force, these two forces will be equal. Again there will be 9.53 over here, right? So this force will be 9.53 and again this force will be 9.53. okay, now we need to calculate this axial force. Basically axial force in this member also we can calculate, there won't be any problem, okay, by taking this thing, what this by considering this force we can calculate axial force in this member, right? Now we will calculate the axial force in this AB member, right? So this angle is basically 60 degree. This is given. Okay, we are considering this portion only. Okay. So if we resolve this, and this axial force is, let us suppose this is A1, A axial force, or you can say that FA, right? So in horizontal portion, one component will be FA cos theta, FA cos 60, and one in vertical direction will be FA sin 60. Okay. This angle is 30 degree. This is again 60. Okay. So the component of this VA in this direction will be VA cos 60, and this direction it will be VA sin 60, right? So now I can write summation fx0 and summation fy0. So by considering summation fx0, I can write VA sin 60 plus 9.53 equals to FA cos 60 degree. Okay. This is 9.53 plus VA sin 60 in same direction. VA we already know, it is 12.98. 12.98 into sin 60 this is 11.24 plus 9.53 plus 9.53 divided by cos 60. So this value comes out to be 41.54 kilonewton. Okay. So we have calculated this axial force in this member. So the direction is same. So this value is basically 41.54, right? And this axial force will be 65.60. Okay. So we have shown all the forces in all the members, right? Now we will draw the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram and axial force diagram. Now let us draw the shear force diagram of this frame structure. Okay, first consider this AB portion, right? This A, B, C and D. Okay, at AB, and we are looking from here, we are looking from this side. Okay, we are looking from this side. This is our positive axis, this is positive, right? This is negative. Okay. So at this A point, the shear force is in this direction, right? And we are considering this distribution of shear force is considered positive. Okay. So it is looking like this. So we will be drawing shear force from this portion above this neutral axis, above this reference axis. Okay. And we are considering of the reference axis positive with respect to these two positive or negative which we have assumed, right? So this is 12.98. And again, it will go here and it will come down. So this is positive shear force, right? So now let us come to this this DC member. Okay. Again at DC, shear force will be considered positive from this side. So this is 9.53 and this will go, and this is positive shear force. Okay. This value is again 9.56, right? Now what about the member BC? At BC, the shear force at this point is 42.39, right? Which we have already calculated, and this is our situation. So it will be plot above this reference axis BC. Okay. And the variation of the shear force is, it will be linear variation because there is UDL inside. Okay. So I can write this 42.39 minus of 30 into x. At what point the shear force will be 0. Okay. So 42.39 divided by 30, 1.413. Okay. And at this point, so this is the 65.6 value. Okay. This value is 42.39. This distance is 1.413. The shear force is changing its direction from positive to negative. Okay. So this is the shear force diagram for this frame structure, right? Now we need to draw what will be the bending moment diagram. Okay, bending moment diagram we will be drawing with the help of this shear force diagram only, right? And so bending moment diagram. Now, as you can see that the bending moment this side, due to this bending moment, this surface, this portion will be in this side of this member will be in compression. This is compression, this is tension. Okay, and we know that the bending moment is plot from the compression side. Okay, so the ordinate of the bending moment will start from here, from the compression side. So this value is nothing but 31.31, which means that this bending moment diagram, this ordinate is showing that the compression is on this face. Okay, this is compression, this is tension, right? So now again, this is our positive axis, this is negative, right? And at this point, the bending moment, this is 7.63. Again, at this point, the compression will at this end will be look like this: compression on this face, tension on this face. Okay, so at some point it will be 0. Okay, so this is the value of the bending moment diagram. This value is 7.63, right? Okay, this is our reference line. Okay, no, this is not reference line. this is our reference line, sorry, reference line. Okay, so this is our compression portion basically. Now for this member DC member, again you can see that this portion, this side will be in compression, this side will be in tension at this end. Okay, so the bending moment diagram will start from here again, right? And at this point the compression will be here and tension will be here. So this is, again it will be 0 at some point. So here this is our reference line, right? This is compression, again this is compression. You can assume the direction which we assume generally is this considered positive, sagging is considered positive and this is considered negative, right? Here also you can, if you rotate this thing, if you rotate this thing by 90 degree, if you rotate this thing in longitudinal beams, we generally assume this is sagging, this is positive and this is negative, right? So if you rotate this thing by 90 degree, we will be getting the same assumption over here. Okay, so now for this member, what you can say that for BC member, the bending moment will be maximum at this distance. This we know from shear force diagram. Okay, so how to find the ordinate at this point? As we know that dm by dx is equals to what you can say that S, okay, shear force. So dm equals to S dx. So if you integrate both things, so mf minus of m initial equals to area under the shear force diagram, area under SFD diagram, right? So now if you consider this area of this shear force diagram, so it will be nothing but half into, this is triangle 413 into 42.39 and which is equals to mf minus of m initial, right? So mf we have to find at this point and m initial is 7.63, right? So the value will be 0.5 into 1.413 into 42.39 plus 7.63, 37.57, right? So the value at this point, the bending moment value is 37.57 and it is positive. Okay, so this is clockwise. So bending moment diagram will start from here. Okay, and the value will go like this, or this is curve basically. At this point this is maximum 37.57, right? And at the end the value will be, at the end the value is basically 34.94 and it is in negative direction. So at some point the value will be 0. So this is the bending moment diagram, right? This is compression basically. Compression this side, tension this side. Here this is compression, this is tension, right? So this is the basically the bending moment diagram of this frame structure, right? Now let us draw the deflection diagram. But before deflection diagram, let us draw the compression axial force diagram also. Okay, for this member the axial force is 41.54 and it is compression. So compression, if we are considering positive, it will look like this. 41.54, this is positive compression, Okay. This is also in compression and the value is 9.53. 9.53. This is compression. Okay, this is reference line, right? And again, this portion is also under compression. So the value is not 34.4, 65.56. So compression is positive, will be showing here, because we are considering this axis as positive axis and this axis as negative axis. Okay, so positive compression will be drawn. This is reference line towards the positive side. Okay, this is the positive side if we are looking from here, right? So this is the compression diagram. The value is 65.6. Okay, so this is basically the compression diagram. Now we'll see what will be the deflection diagram of this frame structure. Deflection diagram is very, very important. Now deflection diagram we will be drawing with the help of the bending moment diagram. Right? Now, as you can see that this face here, this face is under compression. Okay, this face is under compression, right? And at this A point, the bending moment diagram will look like this. And this is the point of contraflexure. At some point, there will be some point of contraflexure. This is in deflection diagram, it will be point of inflection. Okay, so at this point also there will be compression, and theta B is clockwise, right? And delta this thing we have calculated delta 1. So if we draw, if this is the tangent of this axis, so we need to so this is basically point of inflection, right? This is delta, this is delta 1, and this is delta 2. Okay, now if we draw, and this theta is basically theta B, you can see that this rotation is clockwise. Okay, we are taking the reference axis, this axis which is parallel to this axis. Okay, which is parallel to this axis. Don't consider this y-axis as a reference axis. We need to consider, because we are finding the member rotation, we are finding the rotation of the joint, so it will be calculated with the help of this reference axis which is parallel to this axis. Okay, so you can see that at this point the theta is anticlockwise, so this theta is also anticlockwise over here, right? This is compression top, tension bottom. Okay, now at this portion, this complete portion is under sagging. Okay, and at some point this is theta B. This is again, you can see that it is anti-clockwise, right? And here there is some point of contraflexure, no, point of inflection in deflection diagram and point of contraflexure in bending moment diagram, right? And the rotation at this theta C is basically anti-clockwise. Okay, so this is theta c, which is equals to minus of 33.34. Okay, you can see that this rotation is anti-clockwise. Okay, and at this point D there is no rotation, and again at some point it will change its curve. So let us suppose this is point of inflection in deflection diagram. So here also you can see that this is theta c, which is anti-clockwise. Okay, and this deflection, this horizontal movement is equal, deflection is delta 1 only. It won't deflect in vertical direction because member is inextensible, right? So this is your deflection diagram. Okay, here you can see that this ordinate is in compression. So this phase is showing compression. This is compression side, this is tension side. Here this is compression, this is tension. This is point of inflection basically. Okay, so compression will start from here basically. This is compression, compression. This is tension, 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 tension. Here it is compression, compression, compression. This is tension, tension, tension. Okay, so this is the deflection diagram for this frame. Okay, I hope I made my point clear. And if you have any doubt, we have you can write in the comment section, because we have discussed in detail this. We have discussed this problem in detail. Okay, so if you have any doubt regarding how this axial force diagram is drawn, how to write shear equations, how to draw SFD, BMD, you can write in the comment section. Okay, guys. So if you find any mistake in this problem, you can also mention that in comment section. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. We will meet in the next lecture.